I was talking yesterday about the run-up to the anniversary of losing my son Blake, and as those of you who've been following the Froglet Diaries will know, initially it was kind of like a blog to get me through quite a tricky time, because I had this really bad crash and burn in 2010, triggered off by the partner I was seeing, but it wasn't caused by him. It was a series of events that I hadn't dealt with properly, leading up to being really happy with this person, and when I kind of like tripped up, a domino effect, as I've said before. My children were a big part of the crash and burn in a lot of ways, as were a couple of people who I thought were friends and turned out to be very fickle, including one who was dealing with some of the work that I was doing. They were all big parts of that crash and burn. Financial difficulties caused not by myself, but by other people. And losing a great deal of money in an investment, which, people have done, all over the world with the credit crunch and everything. Also with losing the health and the ability that I had, which was years before, but the kind of like ramifications of all that, I went through all of that and kept strong and had dips, but kept strong and kept going. Didn't falter fully. Had little trips, but crash and burn, I really think, has been very cathartic, in the sense of I truly, through the frog prints, was able to face the pain that I hadn't faced before. And partly why I hadn't faced a lot of that pain was because of my children trying to keep going, trying to stand up, and remain being a rock, and remain being supportive and keeping going in some way. And also there's an awful lot of pressure when a lot of anger is directed at you, with other people going through their own pain. You don't want to appear as though you are falling down. You're trying to keep going because you don't want the anger to seem justified, or the accusations against you to seem justified. So you try and negate that anger. And what you have to realise is that anger is their issues, their problems that are coming out in the way they can deal with as well. And in a lot of respects, you're getting dumped on emotionally by a great height from other people. And it's only when you stop for a moment and face your own issues and your own pain that you realise what's really going on, and you can take off the blame that others put onto you. If you can look in the mirror and you can say to yourself, do you know what, I was a good person and a good mum, and I kept going when many others would have stopped and given up long ago. You can be proud of yourself, really. The issues of seeing my grandchildren still remain. I miss them very much. I haven't seen my new grandson as yet, and I haven't properly seen my granddaughter over a 5-month period now. And all that is extremely difficult. It's a very high price to pay in some respects. But I just feel helpless with that. I could, whichever way I choose, I'm going to hurt somebody. But at the end of the day, if I choose wrongly, the person I'm hurting most is me, and the innocent people here. And that's a very heavy burden to have to carry. lots of accusations are levelled against you when you make decisions for yourself. But at the end of the day, you have to sometimes put yourself first, otherwise you're going to be back in the situation of where you're carrying the burden of everybody else's anger and grief and guilt and blame, and and you just, once you've dealt with it, once you've realised what it is that's destroying you, you can't go back to that place. You have to keep being a survivor. And you have to take the accusations levelled against you and just hope that eventually one day, some of that anger towards you will dissipate and calm down of its own accord, and people will see a little bit more the whole picture and their input, their responsibility in the role. And your choices have to be your choices, don't they? And it's a tricky time of the year when you have an anniversary of losing children, when you have issues that you're still dealing with yourself. It affects you in all sorts of ways. And there are other children that I've had which have caused me great pain too, because it's been a very, very tricky time. I think I've had my fair share in my life of losing children. For the moment, the loss of my grandchildren that I'm doing for what I consider the best of reasons to protect them. And all children should have the right to an easy access to their parents and their grandparents, and there has to be that ease, because it does damage otherwise. And my own children's parent, my children's dad, abandoned them, really. And so they do have very little trust anyway in certain male role models. My son Tigger, I've mentioned parental alienation, and this year it's my intention to go further with that and tell you all about parental alienation, and in a way to protect Tigger and what happened to us. I'm just working out how I can tell the story about what happened to us, because it's just unbelievable that something like that could happen in this day and age. But there is time to go into that in another instance, not now. But I will be telling you more about me, my situation, and what brought me to my crash and burn, because it just wasn't about love or about frog prints. And I know you're all wanting to know more of the story of our life, and it's just doing it with respect to the people involved, and you have a wish to protect people, and and to protect your own family, and that's where I'm at the moment, figuring out a way of how to tell the rest of the story respectfully, protectively, but honestly, and I'll be doing that. But thank you so much for all your support with regards to the upcoming anniversary of losing my son Blake, and to all of you out there whose anniversaries, angel versaries, lost babies, angel babies, lost children, lost loved ones. My heart is with you, and my thoughts are with you too. You have to have gone through it to truly know that nothing you can say will alter, but just knowing there's somebody out there who understands can make a huge difference. And I just want to say thank you.